When is the right time to start working with affiliates? Well, for years, I've been teaching folks to wait longer than they should. And I'm here today to admit that I was wrong. Today, I'll share the right time for you to start an affiliate program. Welcome to the Affiliate Guy podcast. If you want to grow your income, serve your tribe, and enjoy all the benefits of affiliate marketing and having your own affiliates, you're in the right place. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. So when should you bring on affiliate partners to promote your product? Well, my answer to this question in the past probably wasn't what you thought it would be. You know, I'm the affiliate guy, right? I love affiliates. I've run affiliate programs for some of the top companies and top entrepreneurs in the world. And I think that everyone should have affiliates for their product. I mean, there is simply no better way to grow your business. But there's a right time and a wrong time to bring on affiliates, or so I thought. And so today I'm going to share some of my background on this, how I arrived at this line of thinking over the years, what led me to rethink it, and then what that means for you and what my thinking is today. So before we do that, though, I want to share a quick listener shout out from Purple Rose, who's in the United Kingdom. This person said, so I listened to the episode about how to go viral. This is an episode from, 100, 200 episodes back. It was a while ago. It definitely wasn't what I expected to be, but it was quite interesting to listen to. I loved how he talked about his daughter and getting her involved in podcasting. As a podcaster and mom myself, I agreed with him that we should expose our children to entrepreneurship opportunities. I'll be sure to check out other episodes. So Purple Rose, thank you so much. Hope you're loving the podcast since you're listening now. And if you have not done like Purple Rose there did, make sure you leave a rating and review for us, 5 stars if you think it deserves it. And also, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. We release these episodes every week, but occasionally we throw in a surprise episode and you don't want to miss those. So with that said, I want to take you back on some of my thinking on in the past and what we told people in terms of when they should start an affiliate program. And I think it's important to understand the history and then to understand the evolution because like I said at the top of the show, I'm admitting that I was wrong. I think I was right in principle, but wrong in application. And so here's the process that we take our clients through. When somebody comes to us and says, Matt, coach us through, how to start an affiliate program. The issue is, and I'll address this later, the issue with that compared to a lot of people is most of the people who come to us and say, hey, Matt, coach us through this are already 6 or even 7-figure entrepreneurs. And that advice that we have for them is not necessarily the advice that's for everyone. So here's the process that we would take them through. Some of this is still applicable now, and I'll kind of fill in the gaps as we go along here. And especially at the end, I'll talk about why I was wrong and what my new thinking is. So step 1 was to do one internal launch. Now this is exactly what it sounds like. You would launch your program, launch your service to your list only. So no partners, no paid traffic. You could do some retargeting within the launch, but no like external cold traffic, right? No SEO traffic, just your internal list. And so what we recommended was, if you have a list of say 4,000 people, right? Don't launch to all 4,000. Instead, you do a launch to like 1,000 people. And that allows you to actually do 3 more of these internal launches, like boom, 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 in succession, or 2 more or 1 more. You can launch to 1,000 and 3,000. But this allows you to test and tweak. TNT, is what we call it internally. Like just you can TNT over and over and over again. So you can test headlines and copy, colors, different processes like format, like audio versus video versus written. You can test send times and times that you go live. You can test what themes you're using, what stories you're using, what subject lines you're using. Everything you can think of, to test. Like in your first launch, you should test everything. And then you document everything you do. You begin to optimize, what's basically leading to the best buy rates, right? And so by limiting that first segment, you can do, a number of these. And so typically we'll have the average client will do 2 of these. So they'll take about 20 to 25% of their list. Again, these are 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs. So they're coming to us with 100,000 people on their list. And so we'll do a first launch to about 15, 20,000 people. And then if things don't go well, or we have some inconclusive split test data, or we really feel like we need another, 2 swings of the bat here, then we'll go through step 2, which is, we're going to repeat as needed. And so what we'll do there is, if we do say 20,000 on the first one, we'll do another one of 30. It's a little bit more optimized, but we still need to, tweak things. This is all about optimizing your launch, gathering data so you'll be able to share that with future affiliates. And the thing is, if it takes a second or third or even fourth launch, that's okay. Like, it's designed to be repeated as many times as possible to get your launch process streamlined. So if we do it, say, to, 15, 20,000 people the first time, if it's really bad and we feel like we got to re-engineer the whole thing, we'll then actually only launch to, say, 10,000 the second time to leave some wiggle room to be able to rinse and repeat. Again, with large entrepreneurs, this was the method we would go through. And so we might do, if things went pretty average, we do a 20,000 person launch, and then maybe a 30,000 person launch, and then we'd do a 50,000 person launch, where we're really replicating what it's going to be like to go big. With the 20 and 30,000 people launches, when you're launching to those sizes, you don't have 20 to 30,000 people signing up for the actual launch. You'll have about 5 to 10% of them sign up for the launch. So you have about 3,000 people going through the launch, which is manageable. When you're doing Facebook Lives, let's say 3,000 people on the high end are going through, and a third of them are showing up. You can manage a Facebook Live with 500 to 1,000 people on it. It's not going to get like ridiculously out of hand. And so you can manage these a lot easier and then build up. It also allows your team to practice. You learn what questions people are asking. You learn that if you're doing some teaching, for instance, I taught this part, but it didn't seem to resonate. We got a lot of questions there. So I'm going to tweak that part, and you get to refine the process. So again, first step is to launch internally to roughly 10, 20, 30% of your list. And then step 2 is repeat as necessary. Step 3 is to do one launch with cold paid traffic only. Okay, so you've gotten this launch down, you've got it down, pretty refined. You want to test it in a little bit of a different setting. So you want to run some Facebook ads, some maybe LinkedIn ads, if that's your niche, Instagram ads, right? And these are people that are typically going to be brand new to you and your list. So what we recommend in this phase, if you're able to, is you take a lookalike audience of your buyers. So you've got the right people, they're just cold to you. So they haven't been following you for years like a lot of people on your list. They don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, right? So they may have never even heard of you prior to seeing your ad. And that's a good thing, because it'll show you how a different audience reacts to your marketing. And so you get to do this launch to this cold traffic, and it's going to give you kind of 2 extremes, right? You see how totally warm traffic, hot traffic, your lead, this person who's on your list does, and then you get to see how these cold traffic works. And you can see things like different headlines work with one, while maybe different copy works with the other. You want this image versus this image. And it kind of helps you dial in your language to reach more people, since over time, you'll learn how to convert new visitors into these raving fans that we always talk about, right? And so you do this, you can do it as a launch, or you can actually do what we recommend, which is just doing it as an evergreen launch. So setting up for like a month. Every day, my goal is to get 100 people to come into this launch, that are cold traffic, or 200 people or whatever. And you just test it over the course of about 4 to 6 weeks and see. And so you learn, again, the same things: what headlines work, what buttons work, what text works, what images work, what time to send the emails and how to follow up with them. all of these things. And so if you're looking for a guide to running some Facebook ads, I have a guide that I put together. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Facebook Ads for Affiliate Marketing. The thing is, the principles that I share, and I'll link to this in the show notes, the principles that I share to running ads for affiliate marketing are the same as for your own products. And so there's nothing in there that's specific really to affiliate marketing. So that's step 3. And then step 4 is just, again, to repeat, keep doing cold traffic, refine your systems, refine your headlines, refine your copy, get your offer in front of more prospective buyers, and just continue to send cold traffic like you did in step 3 as often as you need to in order to learn and test different sales approaches. So we've done step 1, which is to launch internally. Then we've repeated that perhaps once or twice. Then we've done step 3, launch to cold traffic, and then we repeat that in step 4. Now, all this up to this point, the first 4 steps are really where I began to rethink over the past few months. So I'm going to keep going through these steps that I originally taught, and then I'm going to come back and tell you where I feel like we went, we're a little bit misled, or I wouldn't say we were wrong. Actually, you know what? We were wrong for some people. Okay, we weren't wrong for everyone, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So step 5 was then to do some small affiliate launches. So basically, we've launched internally, we've sent cold traffic. Now it's time to go get a few affiliate partners. And so ideally, what we recommended was you would start out with one partner at a time, and you would do like a mini launch. If this was not practical and, you really needed to have enough critical mass to make it worthwhile, then maybe you'd pick like 3 to 5 people, do kind of like a mini launch with them. But the idea here was to keep it small because you're still testing. So these were the people, when you did these small affiliates though, you weren't going out and like getting your top, 10 affiliates. These were people who love you. They're not looking for a perfectly optimized process. So these are people who are going to do it as a favor to you. They're not doing it because they're trying to optimize their revenue. They're not going to get frustrated with you if their EPC is not, high enough. In fact, if somebody's asking what's your EPC, that's your earnings per click, right? They're not an ideal candidate for this phase. So you put them on your list for future launches. So just bring on people who trust you to run tests with a segment of their list. And so you go out and you get an affiliate partner, and they're even willing to run it to segments. If they have a list of, say, 30,000 people, you say, hey, would you be willing to run this to 10,000 people this week? And then we're going to test some stuff, and then we're going to run it to the optimized stuff in 2 weeks, the other 20,000 people, if they're able to. A lot of times it might even be like smaller than that. Like, hey, can you just run it to a couple thousand people so we can work on some stuff? Then we'll run it to the other group later, and you can do that big on social media as well. And so you work with your partners to split test with their audiences. So step 5 is to work with some small affiliates. And then step 6, you probably saw this coming, is repeat as needed. You continue to learn by testing, and testing. And so what we would say is you constantly test, you constantly refine your launches by bringing on new partners with different audiences. And so this is the chance here, even in our rethinking, you still do this. Like you continue to optimize your launch to learn, what works best across different audiences. So what email sequence works best for this affiliate who's got a primarily, female audience versus this affiliate who's got primarily male versus this affiliate whose audience is primarily like corporate executives versus this one who's primarily entrepreneurs, and so on and so forth. Do you do a webinar with this person but not this person? What's the closed cart sequence look like? Do you reopen the cart with a different payment plan? Speaking of payment plans, like do you do a 4-pay at 30% of the full price? That's pretty standard. Or do you do a 6-pay at 20% or a 8-pay at 15%, or 16%, like all those are the questions you have to ask, and you begin to learn and see what's working best. And again, the thing is you're just constantly testing, right? And so what we taught was that you don't do those in sequence. In other words, you don't Run your first launch, then your second internal launch, then your third internal launch, then your first cold traffic launch, then your third, and then you start asking for affiliates. Like we said, no. You need to start asking for affiliates like right when you start step one, so that, and you put it on the calendar. And we'd say, hey, put them. I'm recording this. Let's see, this will go live on May 12th. 2020. So we'd say, go ahead and put your big affiliate, like start work, like your first affiliates on the calendar for next January or next February, or even possibly in December, and put them on the calendar and then work up to that. And then do your internal and then your cold traffic and stuff. And then step 7 was go big. So you've got your landing pages optimized, your sales pages converting, your email sequences dialed in, like you're ready to go big, right? So you know all the important stats. And so when somebody comes to you and says, what's my EPC, you can tell them. When they say, hey, what's the conversion rate? You'd be like, boom, it's this. What's the lead to sale percentage? Boom, it's this, right? Like now you know how to go out and get affiliates. And so if you need some help on getting affiliates, I've got a couple things for you. Number one, I've got a post that you should read that I'll link to in the show notes. It's about how to get your affiliates to say yes to promoting. There's also our first 100 affiliates report, which you should definitely check out, mattmcwilliams.com/first100. We'll link to that as well. That's a good place to start. And so ultimately, what we were preaching was a certain level of discipline. You don't want to make your first launch huge. We talked about what we have as a company. When we work with these big clients, we call it fourth launch vision. Our goal is to make the fourth launch massive. We're always thinking about what the fourth launch looks like. And one of the things that we talked about a lot is we didn't want to burn bridges with partners. And the best way to burn a bridge is to have an offer that's not optimized. And so if you bring on a big affiliate too early and your promotion doesn't convert, then they'll never promote you again. And once you burn a bridge, you can't unburn it. We kept preaching patience, right? So what changed? Why all of a sudden am I saying, actually, I was wrong? Today, I don't believe that for a lot of people, those first 4 steps are practical. And this has nothing to do with COVID or like the fact that the world's, changed. That's not what changed my thinking. And this has been an evolution over the past year. As I said, often the advice that I gave to do these things applied to folks who were making some serious money already. We were working with like Shark Tank's Kevin Harrington, who's a $500 million. Michael Hyatt, who runs a multi-million-dollar company. Jeff Goins, who when we started working with him, already had like 120,000 people on his list. Ray Edwards, who's written more million-dollar sales pages than probably anybody. Lewis Howells and Brian Tracy, who was on like his 25th best-selling book. These are the types of people that we were working with. And that advice applies to them. Hey, don't launch a product with affiliates. Like, get this thing optimized, right? The problem is I didn't follow my own advice when I started back in 2005. I didn't know that was going to be my advice. We needed money. We needed money like right away. We had $5,000 in the bank. We'd already blown through $5,000. And if we didn't make this work on the next $5,000, we were going out of business. So we started an affiliate program. We grew it to $12.6 million in just a year and a half or so. We're totally not following our advice. We were saying we needed money. We totally went against everything that I just taught. Again, this is stuff that I didn't know back then. And the reason for that is, number one, you get to make money before you spend money when you work with affiliates. If you need cash flow, getting affiliates now makes sense. Secondly, it's infinitely scalable. Like there are no limits to how much you can grow with affiliates. There are limits no matter how good of a Facebook ad you write, it's only going to reach a certain number of people. The third big thing was there was no guessing at the targeting. We didn't have Facebook back then, and there was no targeting. Like it was the wild, wild west. And even now, like typically people, when you're running Facebook ads, you either like the two big mistakes I see are like people are they try to write an ad that targets everyone, so it reaches no one. Like when you try to target everyone, you're reaching no one. Or they get so myopic that they're like I'm going to go out and run an ad and I only want to target men like who are 34 to 36 years old. They have 3 kids, they homeschool, and their favorite football teams in the AFC West. Like it's like you're targeting like 11 people. And it just doesn't make sense. But with affiliates, you don't have to worry about who to target. And so they also bring in warm prospects. These warm prospects, nothing else brings in warmer prospects than affiliates. And the other thing is it grows kind of on its own. When you have success with one affiliate, it leads to other affiliates. And so where I was wrong was in teaching those of you out there who are not running, multi-6-figure or 7-figure businesses. And that's the overwhelming majority of you. According to the surveys, that's 95% of you. You're out there right now. You're struggling maybe to grow a list. You're struggling to make some money. Maybe you've made no money. And if you need a list and you need cash, there is simply no better way to get either of those than starting an affiliate program. Now, are you going to go out and get all the big affiliates right away? No, neither did I. I went out and I got one person after another who made us $200 a week, $500 a month, $100, $50, $10, $100, another $200, another $300 guy. And all of a sudden, a guy who would bring in $4,000 or $5,000 in a month. And then a guy would bring in $5,000 or $10,000 in a month. A guy would bring in $10,000 or $20,000 in a month. Next thing you know, we had affiliates who were bringing in, $50,000+ every single month, consistently. But it started off with those small affiliates, and those small affiliates, just 5 or 10 of them bringing in $500 a week on average, was what kept us going. It's what allowed us to begin to see that this could work. And I still remember some of those affiliates that we had. Brandon Moore. He's from Western North Carolina, and I'm not joking. That's what he sounded like. Hey, Matt, it's Brandon. He called me up. Dude, he started off sending us like $30 a week was like the amount that we were making off of we sold insurance leads. And he was sending us like 4 leads a week. Then I'd help him and he'd make 10. And he'd send 10 and then 20. And then next thing you know, he was sending 20 a day, 30 a day. And he was still calling me, hey, Matt, it's Brandon. I need some help, And I'm making fun of him like I'm not from the South, because I was from Central North Carolina. And, I put the North in North Carolina. No, I'm just kidding. And I think back to that. And I think of all of those affiliates that we worked with who helped us get started. But it never would have happened if we'd waited to follow the advice that I gave today, or that I used to give. So here's what I want to encourage you. If you need affiliates now, if you need to find affiliates now and you need to get them started, then do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be one of those people I meet them all the time at conferences. Oh, I cannot wait to work with you guys when I'm ready to bring on affiliates. How much are you making now from your business? Oh, I'm not making anything. Well, then you are ready to bring on affiliates. You cannot wait any longer. You will give up before you ever start working with us. If you need the cash flow, it just makes sense. So I was wrong, and I will admit that. I was absolutely wrong. My encouragement to you today, go out and find a few smaller affiliates. Start seeing the money come in. Might you burn a bridge? Maybe. We took that risk. Turns out we really didn't, but you might. Actually, one of them might really not want to do business with you anymore, and that's okay. Go out and find some people that maybe they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it because it's you. They're doing it because they know, like, and trust you. Take a customer or two if you have some and turn them into affiliates. Go out and reach out to some of the affiliates. One of the best ways to do this, go out and look at the leaderboards in the affiliate promos you're in. Reach out to the people in the also made sales category. These are the people who they know what affiliate marketing is. They don't need as much hand holding. They're also not going to make you, 30 sales in a week. They're going to make you 2 or 3, but you go out and get 5 or 10 of them. And if you're selling, even like just say a $200 product and you get 5 people who make you 3 sales in a week, boom, you just made $3,000, which I'm going to guess based on our survey results is more than your online business has made for about 70% of you. And it gets you going. And I'm going to tell you what happens right now. And it's what happened for us when that first affiliate sent that first lead. Ooh, look at that. And then we looked up at the end of the week and we'd made like $800. Okay. Not huge. But we made $800. And the cool thing was we didn't have to pay on that for 30 days. We paid net 30, which is pretty common in the affiliate world. And then next week it was about $800 again. And then another 800 or 1,000 or whatever. And at the end of the month, the first month, it was a little bit over $4,000. And yeah, immediately 3,000 of that went out the door, but we had $1,000 more than we started the month with. We weren't paying ourselves anything. Then we scaled it and it was like $10,000, the next month and 20 the next month. And all of a sudden, we could hire somebody and then boom. And now, okay, we got a business now. And it was all started if we had not just gotten those first few affiliates or even just that one affiliate, we never would have been in that position, but it created momentum. And I sense that what most people need is just a little bit of momentum. They just need, that's all they need. They just need a little bit of momentum. I mean, I've shared this publicly, and if you watched our Facebook Lives or seen any of the pictures of me, you can kind of tell, I hope. I've lost over 40 pounds over the last, 6 months or so. And you know what it took? Just a little momentum. It just took going down 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all it took was just a little bit of momentum after being stuck for 6 years. It just took a little momentum. I didn't go out and try. So I'm going to lose 45 pounds in 30 days. I didn't do that. I just my goal is just to lose a pound a week, 2 pounds a week. Just, boom, okay. I happen to lose a little bit more. Awesome. But it just took that momentum. So we've got a Facebook Live coming up. Depending upon when you're listening to this, you can either come join us live. It's on May 14th, 2020. Come join us live or watch the replay. I'm going to share the biggest lie you've been told about finding affiliates. The biggest lie that you've been told about finding affiliates. And it's one that I want to bust on this Facebook Live. So go to mattmcwilliams.com/May 14, MAY14. Link will be in the show notes. Also, if you're looking to start finding affiliates now, I strongly encourage you to check out our Find Affiliates Now program. It's coming up soon. We're opening up, depending upon when you're listening to this. If you go to findaffiliatesnow.com, you may or may not be able to register and sign up, but we're going to be starting the actual program soon. We're going to show you how to find the right affiliates, how to reach out to potential affiliates, how to get them to say yes, how to set up your affiliate program, how to get affiliates to go all in promoting you. All of this, we're going to do these, when I wrote out the plan for this program, I wrote it out on one page, and I can share my notes here. Let me pull this. So here's what I wrote. And this is what we stuck to. 5 daily lessons. So this is a 5-day program. This is not our 7-figure affiliate launch program where we teach you 20 hours of stuff, okay? I wrote 5 15-minute lessons. We didn't quite keep it to 15. There's a couple in there 17 minutes. Doesn't matter, right? I wrote 5 15-minute. These are short lessons. There's a daily action item. So in 1 hour a day, you're going to get out there and you're going to find affiliates. You're going to get templates. You're going to get examples and swipe files, all of the stuff that we give you to be able to go out and find affiliates. Plus, this time only, we're not doing this in the future. In the 5 days, we're going to do a daily Q&A call. So in an hour a day, you can go through, learn how to find affiliates, start taking action. This is not a course where we're going to be hey, here's the information. Good luck. No, it's you're going to be taking action as you go in 1 hour a day. You also get these daily calls. So go check that out. Findaffiliatesnow.com. So Hope that this gave you some insight into my thinking. Again, I'm not saying that those 7 steps are wrong. If you're out there running a multi-6-figure, 7-figure business, you probably should apply those steps. But it should move a lot faster than you think. And if you are struggling to get a list started, you're like, Matt, how am I supposed to do step 1? I don't even have a list. Or you're like, how am I supposed to do step 3? I don't have the money to go spend on Facebook ads. I mean, you're in the exact same position that I was in 2005. We didn't have a list and we didn't have the money. We had $5,000, and that was like a lot of that was going to programmers. So we had very little money. We had to make money. Then I highly encourage you, start an affiliate program now. Get going. Join our program. Learn how to find affiliates right now. Come join me on the Facebook Live coming up. And so all those links will be in the show notes. And with that, I'll wrap up. Get out there, get started on your affiliate program. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening today. Remember to check out all of our deep dives into affiliate marketing at theaffiliateguy.tv. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Who knows? Might end up being featured on this podcast.